Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us at World of Pets podcast. We love having you here on a weekly basis. And we want our pets to live as long as possible, but we want that to be a good quality life. So to that end, we on this podcast explore all things about pets and animals so that we can have them around for a long time, but they are living a quality life. So again, thank you for joining us. Take it away, hosts.
All right, welcome
David, what's up,
into
my
World
brother?
of Pets, baby. Welcome back, Anthony, my co-host. Welcome in the CEO of Sunnyside Foundation LLC, Candace Gates. I think
I feel a little
this is going to be a
underdressed for
banger.
this.
So she's got a master's in uh, education, 30 years plus, clinical hypnosis. I'm a little bit scared now. So this is going to be a banger, guys. Welcome in, Candace. I appreciate you being here tonight. Anthony, how you been?
Thank you. Doing well. How about
I,
you?
I've been good. No, I've been doing all right, man. Had a busy week. Got a new vehicle, sold an old one. It's been good but crazy.
Are you in the snow or are you in warm country?
No, I'm in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
Yep. He's in the opposite place of me.
Yeah, this is the armpit of hell down here.
We actually made it into the 40s today, so that was nice.
Hey, there you go.
All right, Candace, I guess my first question is what drove you into studying hypnosis and that kind of things, and how did you associate it to pets?
Mm. I started in hypnosis because I had a sports injury. I was playing softball on a team and injured my knee. I was told by a doctor that I was probably looking at a surgery. And at that same time, a lady that I taught with said, there's this program where you can use your mind. It's much like the way Olympics train Olympians, where you get your exercises set for strength or flexibility, and then you rehearse them mentally. There was a seminar that came to town about every 6 weeks called Spectrodynamics, and I took it and just loved it. It was about imagery where I could imagine myself doing the exercises. I could imagine myself back playing sports and doing things I loved. And we left out the surgery part. It went really well. And from there, it just took off. Where I
Oh, cool.
noticed, where I would connect it with animals was our exceptional pet that we had, who was a German Shepherd whose line was literally from Germany.
Mm.
So some would say that she was well focused. Sometimes we called it hard headed. She was also really athletic. She was had a lot of drive. And one of the things about Eden was she was very responsive and sometimes reactive to us. Now, at the time, I don't think I connected the hypnosis and relaxation and how I was what I was telegraphing to her. But I do have a story for you. It's a little bit long, but it shows how I could have picked up more strongly on how much Eden needed to be a pack with us, how very connected she was, especially to my husband, Weldon. We had a friend in Mancos, Colorado that we house sat for. And when we went up there this one time, he said, I've got a guy for you. He's a hunting and fishing guide all over the country, and he's going to take you out. Have fun. So Jim pulls up in a truck with a trailer and a pontoon boat and a little dog named Sadie who knew just what her position in life was. Took us out to Jackson Lake where we unpacked, got our fishing lines out, baited, and Jim put Weldon in the boat, and Weldon started rowing out. Eden went after him with great jumping plops, water splashing everywhere, and people started moving away from us.
Mm.
Eden went out to the point where the water was over her head, so Weldon had to row back, pull her up, get her into the boat, again with a lot more commotion, row her back to the shore. Jim, our guide, was kind of quiet at this point, but he had our hooks baited. We threw our lines in, and as I cast out, I caught on something. I heard a yelp. I turned around. I'd hooked Eden in the lip. Eden took off around Jim's truck, followed by me with the fishing pole, with Weldon behind me, and we must have looked like Keystone Cops. After we got the hook out, Jim packed us up, took us back, dropped us off. We didn't hear from him again. So I began to realize how important a pack is and an alpha dog is. Weldon was Eden's alpha. Now, we know that alpha is the first letter in the Greek alphabet, but it's also a brainwave pattern. It connects the subconscious and the conscious mind. It's like a bridge that goes across to our feelings, our habits, things that run under our awareness, and that's why it's referred to as subconscious. Are you familiar at all with hypnosis or had any experiences with self-hypnosis or meditation, guys?
Not self-hypnosis. That's actually one of the things that I was most curious about, in the email that we got. Excuse me. Is that if you can self-hypnotize, how can you get out of it? Because we've seen the ones do it on stage, and they can make somebody act like a dog or do whatever, make them learn a card trick and that kind of stuff. But they always have a signal or something to get out of it. So once you self-hypnotize, what's that process like?
Before you go into your state of relaxation, the desired state that you want to be in, you simply tell yourself the time period, like 20 minutes wide awake. And it's much like waking up without an alarm clock in the morning. Something twitches, your hand twitches, you get an itch somewhere, something brings you right out. And then when you're experienced at it, you can set your relaxation time for the time that you have available, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And you can do it anywhere. You can do it in the middle of a crowded jury call room. Why would you do that? To refresh and energize, because alpha gives you relaxation that you have available immediately. 20 minutes is about equal to 4 hours of natural rest when you have released tension that's normally held in the inner core. Each relaxation session begins to unwind a little bit, a lot like a spring unwinding. You did bring up stage hypnosis, though, and I do want to clarify some things.
What is stage hypnosis?
What David was referring to as people going up on a stage and acting like they're a duck or doing something foolish. It might be a Las Vegas act. And that sometimes is people's only experience with seeing something about hypnosis.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. People who go up on stage have already agreed to release their inhibitions. You can't be hypnotized without your will, because your will is always present. Just like it's not a truth serum, you can't be made to tell the truth in hypnosis, because a bit of your ego, your critical faculty, the thinking part, the guard, is always there. So it's not a truth serum.
Something you said there is actually really hits home with me, because I've always been on the stage. growing up in plays and in musicals, and had my own two albums, 2 and 4 years out of high school. And I'm in sales. I'm literally fearless about having conversations with people, and I wonder why people are so shy. It's not a part of me, and I think if because that I view the world as my stage, that may be a very good perspective.
It sounds like it works wonderfully for you, David.
Mhm.
People who have fears, like public speaking is probably one of the most prevalent. Um, Many times it's because people have the focus internally on themselves rather than their audience and what they have to offer.
Right.
When you focus on what you have to offer, what you're bringing to people, your entertainment on the stage, or your products that you believe in, then for you, it's easy to move through that.
Great perspective. Well put.
And with animals, when people are hesitant or uptight, what do they do for their animals? They telegraph it to them.
Right. Yeah. You make your animal uptight and anxious.
And then sometimes if you are in an obedience class, and I am not a trainer, but if you're in an obedience class and you're tense about the situation, oh my gosh, my dog wants to chase the rabbits and we're supposed to be practicing healing. The more upset or agitated the person gets, the handler, the more they telegraph it to the dog through the limbic system, which we share in common. Dogs have structures much like ours, and they synchronize with time and trust and love as pet and owner or pet and trainer. Like I said, I'm not a trainer, but I do have a granddaughter-in-law. She and her husband own Powerhouse Kennels, and they breed, train, show, and sell border collies. Sometimes we're lucky and they come to Tucson and we get to enjoy those beautiful animals.
My dog is part border collie. She's a border collie beagle mix. They call it a border beagle.
Does she have a good nose?
Good nose. She's smart as a whip. She really is the easiest dog in the world to ever train, and she's really good.
Well, how delightful. So the closer we get to our dogs, the more in sync we are. Not only do they read us, because that's their only job, is to pay extraordinary attention to us. They recognize our patterns. They recognize our neurotransmitters or our hormones through our scent. They're animals that are trained that can, as service dogs for people who are epileptics, people who have seizures, whole variety of reasons, anxiety disorders. And in those cases, the dog is trained to override its instincts and train a new pattern, much like a person can train a new pattern by working with themselves. By repetition and telling themselves how persistent they are, how it's easy for them to complete even the smallest of details, and the wonderful sensation of accomplishment that comes with that. Dogs can be trained to override their instincts so that when the person, their owner, becomes anxious, maybe they lean up against it. Maybe they put their paw on it. They do something that breaks the feedback loop that keeps the anxiety going. In people, you can have touching your fingers together. It's an old technique. Feeling of calmness. Seeing a color gives a sense of confidence. You can do all kinds of triggers to activate things.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So you can go ahead.
Have you ever read any Robert Crais books?
I have not.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
I just discovered him. He writes mystery novels or action novels. And he's got a wonderful book out called Suspect. It's about a German Shepherd who toured twice in Afghanistan and traumatized LAPD policemen, and what happens as they begin working together and how they work things out. And he refers a lot to the senses and the sense of smell, like your Beagle Border Collie might have, about how much stronger it is because a bigger part of their brain is devoted to it than us humans. So our dog could probably tell if there were pack rats eating the lemons that fell on the ground or if a javelina ran through our front yard.
True.
Mm.
Yeah. That's why they always bark at that one leaf that blows across the yard. And you're like, it was a leaf. And anyway,
Yes.
they didn't like the way it smelled.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
like, that was a stinky leaf, and they go after it. And it's,
And the fact that you let your dog go after it is a huge, huge win for both of you. I see folks with their phones and they've got the dog on the lead. Well, that lead is more than a leash. It's a nerve that goes between us. And you're cutting off your end when there's a phone in front of them. I see them jerking the dog to come away. It's a walk for both partners so that with the leash on, you become us, not you and me. I'm boss, I'm the alpha, you're the dog. Come on, let's go. I've only got 10 more minutes. Got to be at the office or wherever. And it's like that when you go out to restaurants, sometimes you see two people out together and they're both on their phones. When we commit to being with another being, whether it's a dog or another human being, it helps us develop those relationships that make a difference. They talk about neurotransmitters. Oxytocin is released, the love hormone, which to a dog is safety and well-being. And they have the same motivators we do: survival, well-being, reward for doing something well. I noticed my granddaughter gives her dogs tidbits when they've performed well or when she's training them.
well, I'm single, so when my kids aren't here, nobody gives me a cookie or a treat or anything. So I'm all by myself.
You have to self-reward.
I'd like a cookie every time I do something good, but I have to go buy my own cookies. It's just,
Well, Maslow would say we have a hierarchy. And from survival, we might go to cookies, we might go to money, we might go to a bigger house or a better truck, and we might go to love and esteem of our family. That we're always working our way up the pyramid.
Yeah.
I just take a cookie. I'm good with a cookie.
I just go sing songs, karaoke. But no, I have a great example that I can affirm with that. Actually, is just today my my neighbor across the street. I've been house sitting, and so I wanted to have a minute to chat with them, and it's like, hey, do you want to go to Walmart? Let's go to Walmart. So we had the time in the car, we had the time in the store, we had the time, just that time and connection is so important with people. It's different than it is over the phone. It's different, but going for a walk and getting some exercise, especially at my age, and just having that experience, that human experience. And I love it too, because when I go visit my mom, the neighbor across the street, every time I show up, the dog spazzes out and it's jumping up on me and kissing me, and the owner of the dog is like, why doesn't he do that with me? Well, you're not giving off the right energy, that's all.
Spot on, David.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Weldon and my husband, were talking about that a little earlier. We were at a Starbucks one time, and there was a Doberman Pinscher sitting by the door with no leash. And we kind of raised our eyebrows. got our drinks, came out, sat down, and the dog was still there. And then the handler came out. She was an Air Force gal, and she trained Dobermans on the side. And when she was there, her dog relaxed even more, came up and got in my husband's lap with her front paws. And the service woman was shocked. She said she never does that. She obviously was highly trained to lie there and let people walk in and out with no response. But Weldon gives off, he is a meditation practitioner. And he loves animals, loves dogs. And like you were saying, the dogs picked up on it. Eden would do that. Sometimes when I would be in a session, if a client was okay with having a dog there, sometimes Eden would sit with her paws between us. Sometimes, especially at the end of a session, she might put her paw on the client's foot.
Mm.
We have the Sunnyside Foundation is an umbrella nonprofit for Presence of Mind, the website that I have. And we would have get-togethers where we'd come together from all parts of the country, and we'd talk a little business, catch up with each other, and then inevitably we'd sit in a circle and we would do alpha relaxation sessions based on different themes. Guess where Eden was? In the middle of the circle.
Mm.
She knew right where to be.
Yep. That's cool.
So they're reading us in situations all the time, whether it's through our chemistry, our behaviors, our brainwave connections.
Sure.
Like our kids are. They're mirrors for us. I talked about the senses. David, you said you like to act. Kids who have a strong sense of movement and body kinesthetics might like to act. They might like to be dancers or athletes.
Yep.
So as parents, we're looking to provide this kind of experiences for them. Kids who are in the visual arts and love to draw and paint might love to go to museums. So those are things a parent can do to honor those senses, because our senses lead us to our hobbies. Our senses lead us to our avocations. Our senses lead us to our vocations. So supporting them early on. Don't be so concerned about the ones you're not interested in. Keep feeding yourselves with the ones that you love.
Love that.
And
Love
it helps you, gives you something to look forward to each day too, doesn't it?
Yep. Sure enough.
Oh, I wanted to talk about a little bit about training before we finish anything.
Okay.
Just like with kids, punishing pets gives the wrong feedback. It's called frog farming in people. Frog farmers criticize. You didn't do that right. Why didn't you do this? I don't like how that turned out. Weren't you paying attention? Nagging is frog farming. You see, no negative attention is better than no attention at all. So when people learn they're going to get attention for misbehaving, what kind of attention does a child display? Misbehaving. It's guaranteed to get a reaction, and people will pay attention to me. I hear
It's perspective.
there. So with animals, how does that translate to training? Rather than whacking the dog with a rolled up newspaper, how about setting up a situation where the dog does it right and gets a little tidbit of food?
Yeah.
And every time it does it right, it gets a little tidbit of food. With that person that you love, every time they get that right, you give them a smile, a hug, a comment. Hey, you did that really well. I like the way that turned out. Did you think of that? That's cool. Whatever the language that develops is, it again releases neurotransmitters, dopamine, that fosters a closeness, and even deeper than that, a trust that I can be myself with you. And the dog isn't tense and jerking and looking, and is more willing to stay with you and do the things you ask it to do.
It sounds an awful lot like lot like a psyop.
Yeah.
So, but that's because we're talking about
Wait a minute.
hypnosis and stuff. So,
Wait a minute. Psyops have another agenda.
right,
Psyops have a hidden agenda. And this is about being forthright
right,
and honest. This isn't about running your hidden agenda to get a result
right.
that may not be accepted by the other person.
Yeah, I love that clarification. That's great.
We have that inside of us.
Hmm.
We have stored in our mind experiences where we were told as a child, hey, you better take care of that. Don't break that because you're not getting another one.
Hmm.
Or we can't afford that. We're not going to go to those places. That's too much. Looking at the menu and saying, oh boy, that's too expensive. I want to do that. So that's called poverty programming. Then later in life, when you say, I want to be an earner, I deserve more. I'm putting in the time, I've got the skills, I'm doing the work. But that little voice way back when, that's probably long forgotten, put in a little program that I don't deserve that.
Mm.
So that's where the value of self-hypnosis comes in. And that is what my website's all about, is about self-image. That their relaxation is the easiest thing you do, because relaxation takes stress out of things. It works with confidence. It works with self-love, so that you know that you are a person who operates in tandem with his or her ethics. So there's an integrity there, body, mind, and spirit, that you take forth into the world. And it does increase prosperity. It does increase abundance. It draws people to you and allows you to give back to them without an agenda.
Totally agree. So, Candace, where can people find you? Where can they contact you? How can they support you? And we'll wrap it up after that.
Okay. I invite people to come by my website. It's www.presenceofmindllc.com. There's a 10-minute free relaxation piece. There are over 30 recordings that help people to develop different skills. Like I said, self-love, a belief in health, belief in the right to abundance, life and aliveness, persistence, the ability to screen door out negative people or situations around you while you remain intact with your system feeling calm, cool, collected. There's information there where it's contact us. I also have an accelerated learning program for teenagers or people who are relicensing in a career field if they have to take tests. My last client was someone who just passed a very difficult securities examination, and it took her to a whole new level of income. So it was really exciting to see her do that. I do custom one-to-one work, and they can reach me through the website.
Very good. Anthony, any last words?
Like, this is it for me. These are my last words. Let me think.
Last words. Last words. I'm gonna wear Peyton as a beard.
I'll take pepperoni on my tombstone, please. Anyway, no, thank you all, of course, as always, for joining us. You know that we want to do what we can to help you, and so please reach out if you need anything. And if we can't help you, we will get you in touch with the people who can.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Anthony, for having me. And thank you to the listeners who took some time to be with us.
Yeah, thanks so much for being a guest. We appreciate you. Again, go to debspets.com for pet and human health and wellness products. You can't beat it, join it. So, with that, let's roll out.
Thank you. I'm glad that you joined us for At World of Pets podcast. We would like for you to take a look at what our sponsors have to offer, and that sponsor is debspets.com. You can access it through the QR code, or you can just go to the website. So thank you for joining us, and hope to see you again next week.